Welcome to Beers and Banter. This is a Hobby Homies podcast where we, as the name suggests, dabble in a couple beverages, have a little bit of banter, and talk about things that are mostly hobby related.
Mostly, yes.
And that's the caveat. There's going to be some tangents at times, whether it be hot air balloons or some other things that we've discussed in the past.
I would say maybe not mostly. I would say sometimes.
As in sometimes hobby? Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be doing our usual thing. We've got some dope listener questions. We've got a couple lore tidbits for you. We played a game at 40k against each other. We'll run through that.
Fox, who are we?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I've forgotten once again. I'm Fox. Thanks for reminding me. And this is my co-host Shane, I guess.
That's me.
And we are your humble hosts, the Hobby Homies. So whatever, go get yourself a fresh paint water or pour yourself a beverage like we have here. Whatever you're doing, thanks for tuning in. Sit back and enjoy the show. We'll take it from here, friends.
That's it. Now, Fox, we've done a lot of Beers and Banters remotely back during the first lockdown. Now we're in lockdown 5.0.
Yep.
One thing I used to love asking you was, what are you drinking?
Yes, and we're going to ramp that up a little bit. From now on, instead of just me saying, well, I'm drinking a beer, Shane, and you're drinking a Carlton Dry, we are actually going to get some craft beers. We're going to change who picks the beers. It'll be a surprise to the other, and we'll give a little bit of a review.
Absolutely.
We're no beer connoisseurs, but, whatever. We'll give it a little rating out of 5, maybe. See how we go.
Hell yeah.
But I want to start.
Do it.
I'm excited. This beer that I'm drinking in front of me now is a Banter Hazy IPA. Now, like all IPAs, it's bitter, it's punchy, but as I pour it, the thing I notice most about this is it's insanely cloudy.
Yeah.
It's like I can't see through the other side. I can't even see the bubbles within it. It's almost like a thick orange juice of sorts, which is kind of dope. I mean, it's true of most hazy IPAs, I suppose, but it's got bulk citrus notes to it, if that's the if that's the term that people use. It's got that standard hazy orange mango passion fruit kind of. I'm sorry, you could probably hear me sniffing it.
Yeah.
That's me sniffing it, by the way. That's not how I drink. But yeah, and then it's super sessionable, this bad boy. It's actually a staple. I think there are better IPAs, but this is my go-to if I'm going to have more than 4.
Nice.
Which is a shame because it's quite pricey. It's one of those $24 for a 4-pack or whatever.
Of course, one of those.
But if it's sessionable, if I was to rate it out of 5, I'd give it a solid 4.2.
Yeah, right.
Do love it.
Not bad.
Can't get much better than this in my mind.
Well, you know what, my friend? I was at a brewery, not just yesterday, in fact.
Truth.
And I was enjoying quite a nice hazy IPA.
There we go.
So, yeah, I was up in Beechworth. I was at the Bridge Road Brewers, where they do awesome pizza and beers.
Oh, what a combo.
And, yeah, oh, man, it was perfect. And I was just trying bits and pieces off the board. And even sent Caitlin up there. I'm like, she's like, can I pick one for you? And I'm like, all right, just don't get anything weird. Which she didn't, thankfully. But she comes back with it's called a hazy harvest.
Nice.
Yeah. It's and the art, like, I love all these craft beer artworks, man. Like, it's a hop driving a tractor with a little straw hat on, whistling.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So, but that's not what I'm drinking right now. I am drinking a Bling IPA from the Bridge Road Brewers. Oh, of course.
An M. Night Shyamalan plot twist. I was getting hyped. I was going to talk all things hazy with you. I was like, how juicy is it? Tell me everything. You're drinking a Bling.
A Bling, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it's an IPA, really. it's quite nice. It's sessionable. I too would agree.
Yep.
So no harm in having quite a few of these. And I actually, just before this, I finished a little bling, which is basically the same. It's just a lower. It's a 0.8 standard drinks to this can rather than a 1.6. So it's like half the strength.
Yeah, wow.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they call a little one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why
But,
sessionable IPAs are particularly dangerous because of that high content.
Yeah.
You know, you put 4 down and you're just like, hold on a minute. In fact, we know this from last week. Our episodes never aired, but we drank a lot. Well, we didn't drink a lot. That's the thing. We had maybe like 2 or 3 IPAs, but we had it in such a short span.
But they were like 7.5% or something each one, so it was pretty brutal. No, they were even stronger than that, I think. I don't know.
We'll find out next
Ridiculous.
week. We're gonna hit them again.
Yeah.
So out of 5, your bling.
Oh, I'm gonna give it a solid 4.
Yeah, cool. Oh, we got a couple.
Yeah.
We got a couple good ones.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. You would froth this joint, man. You would froth it.
Yeah, mate. You had me at pizza, to be honest. That's yeah. So look, listener questions. We got a few this week. A bit of a backlog from last week as well. Things that we hit but couldn't release because the audio gremlins got us once again.
They did.
So just a quick recap of, I was asked many moons ago how many armies I have bought and sold. I don't want to go through the full thing again. We've done it many times, but basically all of them. In fact, we've decided the shorter list would be factions I've never owned, which only came down to 4, which is Adeptus Soror... I can't say it. It's Battle Sisters.
Yeah.
Inquisitors / Assassins, Orcs, and Chaos Space Marines.
Yeah.
So I think Chaos Space Marines. I've had Thousand Suns, but I don't think that's separate.
Oh yeah, like that's Death Guard as well. They're big enough to be separate, and they're different enough, I guess. Yeah.
To do these lists, I just went off the Games Workshop website and just clicked the little plus symbols and counted those individual factions. And because I've owned Thousand Suns and Death Guard, but they were both intended to be just those factions, I don't count Chaos Space Marines. So.
Yeah.
So there's only 4 I haven't owned. I could definitely see myself owning at least 2 of those. In fact, I mean, if I get Orc Snaggers, there goes Orcs, so...
Yep.
And I thought a fun tidbit might be to tell you guys the longest standing factions I've had since basically moving back down here, since we used to hobby in your shed at your house many moons ago.
Oh, feels like a lifetime ago, dude.
Yeah. My oldest factions are Space Foxes, aka Space Wolves, but my custom chapter.
Yep.
Grey Knights and Drukhari, which are meta now, but I only have like 10 dudes, so...
A Talos.
Oh, and a Talos. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And everyone's like,
it's a kill team.
Tell us more. Yeah. True.
God.
True. Thank you. You're welcome. That's the hazy doing its work.
Yeah.
So some fresh questions, some hot off the press questions. This one is from Moose, who asked, where did Fox and Shane meet? And a follow-up, how did we get into the hobby originally? So, where did we meet, Shane? That's a great question.
Probably high school, dude.
Yeah, that seems right.
Yeah, because I was mates with your brother. Well, I still am, but that's how I met you, because I was mates with him.
Yeah, you were just like one of Stewie's little weird friends, and I was just like... Because back then, what's the age difference between us? 2 years?
2 years, yeah.
Yeah, and so back then, 2 years is massive. Like when I'm...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it
when
is.
I'm 17
Between like a year...
15, yeah.
Like a year 10 and a year 8. Like you're just a kid.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I just remember all Stewie's friends looked the same, but like different variations. You all had the exact same length of hair.
Oh,
so
yes.
It was like
the
you...
side fringe was in.
Yep, it was like you, Rory, Stewie, and I want to say... sometimes Ryan Asplin.
Yeah.
From when he was around at the same time as you guys. Anyway, you all had exactly the same length of hair, but halfway between your ears and your shoulders. But you were slightly taller. Rory was slightly more Asian.
Just slightly more Asian.
Stewie was slightly more related to me. So, I just remember, and you were nothing more than that to me for many moons.
Yes. Yep.
And then I slowly think I got sick of my friends and started trying to buy Stewie's friends. And I think we were in a group chat together for some reason.
We played video games sparingly, I believe.
That would have been it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because me and Stewie would always play video games, and then by extension, we would sometimes get mixed in together.
Yeah. And then, like, you're in this group chat, you're like, yo, I'm coming back to Victoria. If any of you guys heard of Warhammer? And no one else responded except for me.
Yeah. In fact, you weren't even brave enough to respond. You PM'd me later, and you're like, Warhammer, you say? I've always been a little bit interested in Warhammer.
Yeah. There's always a bit of room for Warhammer.
There's always a bit of room for Warhammer. Oh, you didn't say it was going to be Warhammer.
Oh, yeah. So you were... Moose, if you don't know how Fox got in the hobby, you got to listen back to some of the earlier episodes because he goes in great detail about it.
Oh, man. Was that episode 1?
I feel like it. Yeah, maybe
one or
episode
two.
0. There's the little reintroduction. I don't know. Just
True.
listen to them.
Yeah, they're on the YouTube, unfortunately. I talk in length about how I got into it. Basically, it was my mate Reese Cunningham, who we talk about on the GTO episode and
He's
reference often. He is a homie.
Yep.
And ironically, I've now flipped and gotten him back into it. He's big into it. Like he's meta chasing. He's attending comps.
Yeah.
He just came second at the GTO.
Yep.
He's a beast. Absolute beast.
Yeah. Yep. So that's how you got back into it, and then you got me into it because you were coming back and had no one into it.
Yeah.
Bought some Necrons.
Well, that was the call I had to make. I was coming back from Queensland. Literally not everything was going to fit in our sedan. It was like an old VY Commodore or something. And I was like, look, should I just sell all my 40K stuff? So I messaged you guys. I'm like, would anyone be interested in playing 40K? Because if not, I'm going to just sell my stuff, you know?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm a bit interested. And I think like 10 minutes later, I went into the games workshop locally. And I was like, dude, pick an army, you know? Let's get it happening. And you just happened to pick an army by yourself on your own volition that a bloke in the store had 2 boxes of Necrons.
Yeah.
That he could sell. It was better than Indomitus kind of stuff, so...
It was like a battle force, and I got 2 for the price of 1, which I don't even know if that's legal.
No, it's not. You got 2 battle forces for 170, which if you think about it, start collecting, I think you got 40 warriors and...
I did, yeah.
2 Ghost
40
Arcs.
warriors, 2 Ghost Arcs, and...
Characters? I can't remember.
Oh, man, I can't even remember. Yeah.
So that was a real good start for you, and that was basically your army for like 2 years.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I just added to it slowly by like getting Tomb Blades and Immortals and shit.
Yeah. So my friend, when I was 15, Reese, got me into it. I fell out of it, then got back into it. Then no one, then I realized I had need friends to play with it, and then that's when Shane popped in and was like, "I'll be your friend." And we've been hobby homies ever since.
Hell yeah, dude.
So another question. This is an interesting one. We may need to come back to this in a sec. This is for both of us. What/who, that's funny, is your favorite piece in the Trazen, the Infinites collection? Or simply, what's the klepto bot got that brings all the boys to the yard?
Who asked this question?
It was Hockers. Hockers asked about the Kroot breeding question. He has the most amazing questions.
Yeah.
But you know Trazen the Infinite.
Of course I know Trazen the Infinite.
Yeah, cool. So the question is, what in his collection? Now, are you familiar with his collection? Do you want me to give you some options?
I'm vaguely familiar. I'm just looking it up on on the internet now.
Okay, good. While you do that, I actually have an answer for this.
Oh shit!
I'm only just reading this question for the first time, and it just has it's happenstance. So I can't remember how I got there, but I was researching the Enslavers, which is a race of psychics, not slugs, squids more commonly.
Okay.
That still exists. They have an insane lore, man. In fact, I might bring that as a lore snippet on the next Beers and Banter.
Yeah.
But anyway, these enslavers are awesome. There's the jellyfish, the psychic jellyfish. They take over people, make them do. It just seems so out of place, actually, in the 40k universe.
Yeah.
And I found out that for some reason, with no explanation, Trazen, I don't know if that's how you say it, Trazen, doesn't matter.
Yeah, Trazen, yeah.
Trazen actually has a husk of an enslaver in part of his collection. I don't know how he got it. I want to know more about it, but that's got to be my favorite because it's the only one I know. So
Nice, that's very cool. I'm just looking at the list here. He's got the Lost Regiments of the Astra Militarum from Tanith, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
He's got at least one member of the Adeptus Custodes.
At least one member. Okay, yeah. I see why Hockers said what/who is your favorite piece in the collection. I didn't know he had people. I didn't know he had living beings. That's amazing.
He's also got a perfect clone of the Primarch Fulgrim, which he received in exchange for providing 18,000 samples of, quote, pure Emperor Children gene seed in a deal with Fabius Bile.
Oh my goodness, this is amazing.
Yeah. And he's got like, I remember reading it somewhere. I think it was like a 1D4 jam, but the list was hilarious as to what he has in his collection.
Oh, yeah. I mean, several regiments of the Catachan jungle fighters. Several regiments. That's phenomenal.
Yeah. So
wait, did you pick one, or are you just labeling some that you liked?
I was just labeling some that I liked. So I'll come back to that one.
Yeah. So that's what brings these boys to the yard. Just his collection in general. But I like the I like the husk of the enslaver. So I'll talk more about the enslavers next week because they're very interesting.
Hell yeah.
Not quite a deep dive worthy, but definitely a lore tidbit worthy. So
sweet.
Shane, there's a question for you because I know you'll know the answer to this.
Oh shit.
As a birdman, well, I guess that was directed to me, but I'm going to pass it on to you. What is the average airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
European or African?
Exactly. I don't know that.
No, they need to come back with the answer.
Yeah, okay. And that's been Listener Questions. Listener Questions. You asked the questions and we listened.
We're still waiting for a theme song. Churchy's working on it.
Yeah, he definitely is. If we send this to him and he hears it, he's like, wait, did they tell me to work on? No, they haven't. They're joshing me, surely. So that's been our listener question. But what'd you say?
Yeah, no, nothing.
Shane.
Yep.
It's your favourite segment, Homie of the Week.
Homie of the Week, absolutely.
Homie of the Week.
Still waiting for a theme song.
You're a homie, and it's been a week.
It's actually been 2 weeks because the last week got sacrificed.
Yes.
For this week and for last week, homie of the 2 weeks goes to Lockie and Dave from Target Acquired for running such an incredible event as the GTO.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was incredible. I mean, we just did an entire episode on it, which is coming out this weekend. Well, like now, basically. It's probably the same time as this Beers and Banter is released, roughly.
Yeah.
But if you're listening to this on release, it'll be maybe a day away. The event was phenomenal, and the amount of work these two did to bring it all together and then run it on the day, it'll go unknown, unnoticed, and what'd you say?
Unappreciated.
That's the one.
Yeah. So, Homie of the Week is a pretty prestigious award, so wear it with pride. For next week, it will be stripped from you and given to somebody else.
I didn't actually know that's how it works. I'm glad you've confirmed that in Hobby Homies law. You don't just give it to people. There's only one continuous owner.
We give it and take it away.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know if that makes it more prestigious. Yeah. No, it does. It definitely does.
Does it?
Only one current owner of Homie of the Week.
They share it.
No, it only belongs to Dave and Lockie at this current time. You've taken it from all the others.
But Dave and Lockie are both sharing it.
Oh, yeah. But everyone else, I mean, you've completely dicked over that. They can't get it anymore. Didn't Burnsy put out a fire and this is how you repay him?
Hey, Hockers puts out fires daily, so...
Hey man,
He owns it, if anything.
I don't pick homie of the week. If I did, I'd pick Hockers every week. But here you are, tournament organisers. Come on, man.
Well, I mean, you know.
Yeah, they were putting out fires. So
Oh, left, right, and centre, dude. So well done, done, Lockie and Dave.
you earned it, despite what everyone else thinks.
Absolutely.
Hey, another little. Speaking of lore tidbits, I want to give a couple lore tidbits.
Do it, dude. Just slather me with it.
Okay, so I mean, you kind of already know this. We spoke a while ago. We were talking about. I think this was in the explanation or discovery of which armies I'd bought and sold, and we came across Ynnari, which both of us knew very little about.
No, that's right.
They are. I was just like, well, they're a faction of Eldar. That's all I know.
Yep.
I know they had new releases and then some stuff. I don't know. So I did a quick Google, and I'm just going to read this straight from, what is this? Warhammer 40k fandom, because it's just a great summation of exactly what they are. So, the Ynnari, also known as the Reborn, are a faction or religious sect of the Eldari species, comprised of members drawn from all of its other major factions, including Aesiani, Craftsword Eldar, Exodites, Drukhari, and Harlequins.
Yep.
Under the leadership of the prophet Yvraine, the daughter of Shades, the Ynnari seek to fully awaken the Eldari god of dead, Ynid, who they believe can defeat Slaanesh and restore the Eldari species' unity and its lost glory. So basically, it's a religious sect comprised of all different Eldari who believe if they fully awaken the god of dead, it can kill Slaanesh and restore Eldar to what it used to be before the fall, which sounds terrible.
The god of dead, or is it the god of death?
Sorry, the god of the dead. You need.
Oh, the dead. Okay, because you're like, the god of dead. I'm like, okay,
the god
creative.
of deadness. God of the dead, Ynid. Iniad, it's pronounced officially. There you go. Hey, does every article have the official pronunciation of stuff? Because this will help a lot.
That's big. Yeah.
Sometimes called the Whispering God. That's very cool.
That is.
But I believe you can actually get the model for that, so I don't really know how you can get a model for a god. Anyways. So that was cool. That kind of helped us figure out exactly what it was. It's like a religious sect of the Eldari.
Yeah.
I don't know how that
pretty awesome.
plays in the tabletop. I'm very curious as a Harlequins owner how that works. I'm sure many will enlighten me. I know Dave knows and whatnot, but yeah.
Hey, you could look into it, dude. Sounds kind of like Deathwatch for Eldar.
And it also kind of sounds a little bit like Gene Stealer cults, or Forces of the Hive Mind, rather. It's like a way of linking Tyranids.
Multiple different factions,
Yeah. So, anyway, we'll suss that out. There's so many people screaming into us talking. They're like, you dumbasses, how do you not know it's a part of 40k history? What are you
Exactly. We're noobs.
We are noobs. We're constantly learning that.
I wonder how, if they could defeat Slaanesh, that would affect like all the Chaos Space Marine chapters.
I wonder how it would affect the Harlequins, who believe the Laughing God is the one that's going to defeat Slaanesh.
Yeah.
Or at least, I guess they could make that work because they believe it's all part of the Laughing God's plan.
Yeah.
They could somehow, be like, oh, well, I guess it was part of his plan to bring up this religious sect. Maybe somehow the Laughing God started it. Anyways, who knows?
True.
Mental gymnastics. They do it. They would do it. They're great at gymnastics.
Would, absolutely. Now, I've got a lore tidbit.
Good. I'm excited.
Recently, we've been talking a bit about 30k, right?
We have. It's terrifying. It's a terrifying conversation to have.
It is. I messaged Lockie quite a few days ago now. I basically said to him, I'm like, look, dude, you mentioned 30k at the GTO.
Yeah.
How can I do this?
Yeah.
And he's like, 30k? And like, did that. Like, he's like, I heard 30k. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it.
That's
now,
it. You don't
tell me.
You don't actually need to have that conversation with Lachlan. You could be standing anywhere and be like, all right, so 30k, how do I do this? And he would just appear
Yeah, I think you could like just say, "Hey, Lachlan, how you going?" and he'll start telling you about 30k. So
That's true. That
yeah.
is true. I don't doubt that for a second.
But basically, I want to know, Fox, how much do you know about the Horus Heresy?
Ah, this is good, dude. This is great because I know very little, right? So I know this. The basic is like the Emperor of Mankind had all of his Primarchs. He was doing these. Was it like a war of unity? Like he was trying to unify all the planets,
All the human planets, yep.
all the human planets, and at some point along the way, Horus betrayed him and took half of the other Space Marine chapters with him, and then something happened and he betrayed him. And that's how we came up with Chaos. They succumbed to Chaos, but it's like a little bit more deep than that. That's all I know. Like it's not just he's the bad guy.
You're in the ballpark.
Yeah,
you're in the ballpark there. You've got a you're tickling the idea of it. So I'm going to give you a quick crash course of the Horus Heresy.
Thank you. And does it include the Thousand Suns and how they turn to dust, perchance?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, that's all right. That's okay. Because me researching Thousand Suns at one point in my adventure is the only way I learned about the Horus Heresy. I was like, oh wait, I thought that was a separate thing, but it's like, oh
no. Well, any Chaos Space, any Traitor Space Marine chapter is a part of the Horus Heresy in a way.
Just tell me everything, Shane. Dump it on me. Take a big dump on me.
Okay, so the Horus Heresy was a galaxy-spanning civil war that consumed the worlds of mankind for 9 Terran years. Its outbreak marked the end of the Emperor of Mankind's great crusade to unite the scattered colony worlds of humanity under a single government and the beginning of the current age of the Imperium. The Horus Heresy is in many ways a founding event of the Imperium of Man as it now exists. The Civil War began following the corruption by the ruinous powers of Chaos of the Imperial War Master Horus Lupercal, the Primarch of the Sons of Horus Legion, and the most beloved genetic son of the Emperor. The Chaos Gods fed Horus innate ambition and sense of betrayal by the Emperor until he turned upon his father and sought to claim the Imperium of Man for his own. Horus convinced half of the other Primarchs and Space Marine legions, as well as large swathes of the Imperial Army and the forces of the ancient Mechanicum, to turn traitor alongside him and unleash a cataclysmic attempt to conquer the galaxy in his name. Over 9 Terran years, the war raged, 7 of them consumed by Horus's drive on the throne world, until coming to a final cataclysm on Terra itself, where Horus was slain and the Emperor mortally wounded, his dreams of creating a brighter future for mankind forever broken. The conflict was fought across the Milky Way galaxy early in the first century of the 31st millennium, and resulted in more than 2.3 trillion dead. Twice that if one includes the planetary populations purged by the Imperium after the heresy due to the taint of Chaos corruption. The heresy concluded with the death of the traitorous War Master Horus, the interment of the Emperor and the Golden Throne, and the exile into the Eye of Terror for the heretic Astartes traitor legions. The heresy was directly responsible for the birth of the present-day structure of the Space Marine chapters, following the second founding and the reformation of the Imperium by Ultramarines Primarch Rabute Guilliman.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot to dissect in there, and I guess that's why there's a whole game system built around it.
And like 400 books in the Black Library.
It's kind of like Star Wars, right? It's kind of like episodes 4, 5, and 6.
What do you mean?
It's just really good. Nah, it's like a prelude to a current series that is as good and as deep as the existing series. Yeah. It's like watching Rebels and Empire. Yeah, it's no longer a thing if you were to go by a current chronological timeline, but it's still got so many implications that it all resonates within the current timeline.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, it's insane, man. Like, I've been listening to the Black Library audiobooks and the Horus Heresy, and man, there's some info in there. Like, an entire book passes, and like some of them you end up going like, what the fuck was that? Like, it's just like, what was the point of all that? And but then there are others which are just like full on, like with battles and information and lore, and it's just incredible. But
Wow.
definitely worth checking out the Horus Heresy if you haven't already.
Yeah.
That was just a little bit off the 40k fandom website.
And that's
So
and that's
yeah.
what we'll kind of do every now and then on Beers and Banter. We'll have like a little lore tidbit, which may be us just reading something that cool that we've discovered and discussing it.
Yeah.
It may be stuff that we know off the top of our head. But we just like, there's so much cool lore that we talk about constantly. And we thought, people that hear it and already know, like there's going to be so many people that know so much more about 30k, jump in the Discord, enlighten us.
Hell yeah.
And there's going to be people that are like, in my boat, where it's like, yeah, I kind of get the gist of it, but I don't really know. And so these summations are good. Like, I think they're awesome.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Even, which is arrogant to say because we're delivering them, but like, it's cool shit that we've heard, and we want to like let other people know there's cool stuff going on.
Absolutely. Fuck yeah.
I am still on the Trays in the Infinites page.
Of course you are.
Now I feel like you need to research him, and I'll research Enslavers, and we'll bring those to another one.
Yeah, let's do it next time.
But oh man, 30k seems dope. So Horus was the War Master, so effectively the general of the Imperium army.
Yeah, basically. So
the right hand man of the Emperor, effectively.
Pretty much. So the Emperor himself led the crusade for a long time. Found the first, I believe it was the first 10 Primarchs.
Yeah.
There's a whole story about how they went missing and they all appeared on different worlds. Basically, they were taken from a lab under the Himalayan mountains on Terra, and they were spread across the galaxy by the gods of chaos. And so then each of them were basically lost, not knowing that they were the son of the Emperor. They didn't know who the Emperor was, right? They never heard of the Imperium or anything like that.
Yeah.
They were just these like super beings on all these different planets. Horus was on a feral world, which a feral world is basically a world that doesn't. It's like imagine Stone Age people. It's either because the environment's so hostile, the wildlife is so hostile that they just can't thrive. They can't produce technology or anything like that because I guess every day is a battle to survive.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but so they're across all these different worlds, and the Emperor went around and found a lot of them.
Yeah.
And they joined. That was the first the Great Crusade, and then the Emperor went back to Earth, and Horus was like, you're in charge. You just keep doing what we're doing, just keep finding this shit, right?
Yeah.
And then Horus was he was nearly killed, and they used. I can't quite remember because it's early on in the story, but they put him in this like chamber for like 3 days, and he comes back alive. But in that chamber, he gets like tainted a little bit by chaos, and then that chaos whispers to him and basically says like, the Emperor's just abandoned you. He's gone back to Earth to do fuck all, and he's like left you to do everything. You should be doing that. You should be in charge.
And he's tried to almost kill you, I'm
pretty
guessing.
much. Yeah. And then Horus slowly is like, well, you're right. Like he's like, I should be the man in charge. I should be doing all this shit. Who's he? Like, so, and then that's how it all starts. And then they goes through heaps of different battles. There's one of the early stories where one of the Marines they turned basically into like a Nurgle demon, but like a plague bearer basically. And everyone on the ship is like, what the fuck is that? It's like they had no idea, right? They'd never seen anything of it. They didn't know about demons. They didn't know about anything like this.
Wow.
It's incredible. So
sounds so dope,
definitely worth checking out. Yeah.
The only thing I don't like is that, like, from a gameplay standpoint, is like that I think 30k has some incredible models, and I just want to be able to play them in both. And I know some you can, but typically you know, I mean, you could probably do like counts as or whatever, but they got different weapons and yeah. Anyways, I'm excited about the rumors, not rumors. Let's say rumors for now, of Games Workshop picking up 30K from Forge World, and producing a core box and some other stuff for it. That would be That will be awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
But also terrifying for us and our wallets. So. Yeah. Man, we've got so much going on. We played a 40K game, but maybe we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah.
We played Harlequins versus Gene Stealer Colts, but we didn't finish it. But it was pretty fitting because it ended typically 50-50. So
yeah.
So we'll talk about that. And just quickly though, what are your hobby plans for lockdown? We've been thrown into a snap lockdown 5 days. Have you got any particular plans?
Well, you know, because I messaged you today. I'm like, right. Dude, the power is in your hands. Tell me what I need to paint, and I'll paint it. And I'm like, just pick from one of my 7 ongoing projects.
Yeah.
And you picked that I paint and finish a Underworld's Warband.
Yep.
So I've just started that. I've built 3 of the models. There's only 3 in there.
Nice.
It is the Ripper's Snarl Fangs, who loves... I love goblins riding anything, so goblins riding wolves is pretty cool.
Yeah, you don't need to tell us about your hentai collection, dude. That's fine. Yeah, I felt drunk with power, but I wanted to give you a reasonable task. First of all, I wanted to give you a hobby win. And I was like, what are you going to finish? You're not going to finish your entire Blood Angels army in a weekend. So I was like, I'll give you an Underworld's Warband because hopefully Throw the Dice has a big grand opening on the 24th of his new store, Tricky's new store. Yep. Hopefully we'll be able to play some Underworlds and hopefully you'll be able to bring your newly fully painted Underworlds gang.
Hell yeah. That'd be sick.
That's the plan. I feel like I want to flip it on you and make you pick a little project for me to finish. But I don't have time to think about all my projects. So I'll do that in a moment. Maybe after the show.
Hell yeah, man.
But that's good. We'll see. We'll check back with you next week to see if you actually finished your Underworld's Warband, man. I'm curious. Can
Sounds
you do
good
it?
To me, dude.
You going to contrast it? What's the plan? You got a plan of attack?
Nah, no contrast. Oh, maybe very few contrast. I don't really use contrast that much anymore. So I'm going to try and old school it.
Okay, you're going to heavy metal the bitch.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so you're not getting that done. Okay, cool. No, that's good. That's good to know. Yes, for those listening, we got some stuffs planned. We'll talk a little bit more next week about all that when we're back in the studio. But we're very excited for the future of Hobby Homies. That's all we'll say at this stage.
Yeah, hell yeah. Big things coming.
Big things come.
Big things coming.
Thank you once again for listening. Y'all are incredible. Please jump in the Discord. We love chatting with our homies. It's the second best thing in the world. The first is live episodes, which hopefully we'll bring to you. Oh, yeah. No, you go. No,
you can find links for the Discord on hobbyhomies.com.
Absolutely. As well as all of our stuff, our merch, our episodes. I mean, you'd have no trouble finding those because you're listening to this, but there you go.
True.
If you ever get lost, it's a great little navigational tool. It's your compass.
That's it.
To the Hobby Homies way of life.
Yeah.
I've been Fox.
I've been Shane.
And you've been existing with us. And we thank you for it. Toodaloos.
Hooroo.